From the outside, the first 3 years of a human life look almost boring. Eating, sleeping, crying, putting things in their mouth, falling over. To a stranger walking past, the least eventful person in the room. But here's the strange truth. Those 3 unremarkable-looking years are the most explosive period of growth a human brain will ever go through. In 36 months, the brain goes from a quarter of its adult size to 80%. Language, emotion, trust, the very sense of self, all of it gets its foundation laid. The most important construction of your entire life happened while you mostly just sat on a floor, and you remember none of it. Watch what happens with language, because it's genuinely astonishing. At birth, 0 words. By age 3, around 1,000. But the vocabulary isn't even the impressive part. By 3, most kids are building real sentences, using past tense, stringing clauses together, following grammar rules that nobody ever sat them down and taught. Think about how strange that is. You struggled to learn grammar rules in a language class as a teenager. A 3-year-old absorbs them from thin air just by being around people talking. The linguist Noam Chomsky argued this is only possible because we're born pre-wired for language, a kind of built-in receiver, waiting for any human language to switch it on. Language didn't get taught into that child. It grew, like a plant reaching for light. Here's something most people never realize about babies. They cannot calm themselves down. That ability, to feel a big wave of distress and ride it back to calm, isn't something we're born with. It's something we build. And we build it through a quiet, repeating loop. The baby gets upset. A caregiver soothes them. Upset, soothed. Upset, soothed. Thousands of times. And through that endless repetition, the baby's nervous system slowly learns the most important lesson of early life. This awful feeling will pass, and someone will help me through it. That's where emotional regulation comes from. Research by Megan Gunnar and others shows the quality of this early soothing predicts how a person handles stress and frustration decades later. You learn to manage your feelings in someone else's arms, long before you could do it in your own. So with all this critical development happening, you'd think babies need intense enrichment, right? Educational apps, flashcards, structured lessons, a head start. Here's what the research actually says, and it's almost a relief. None of that. What a small child genuinely needs is shorter and simpler than any product can sell you. A caregiver who responds. Safe space to explore and occasionally fail. Conversation, not teaching, just talking. And real, unstructured play. That's it. Study after study finds that free play builds problem-solving, language, and emotional skills better than any structured program. The most developmentally powerful thing in a toddler's world isn't a gadget or a curriculum. It's a present adult who talks to them and lets them explore. The thing that works best is also, thankfully, the thing that's free. And let me push on this a little, because it matters, especially if you're a parent feeling like you should be doing more. The research is clear that academic pressure on very young children doesn't help and can actually hurt. Drilling, rigorous early programs, the anxious race to give a toddler a head start. It can raise stress and quietly drain the joy out of learning before school even begins. Here's the reframe that I think sets a lot of parents free. Play is not a break from learning for a small child. Play is the learning. It's how the developing brain is designed to grow, through curiosity, not pressure. So the instinct to do more, optimize more, teach more. The science gently says, do less. Your calm, present attention is already the most advanced educational tool in the room. I want to be honest about the harder side too, but carefully, because the full truth is more hopeful than the scary version you usually hear. Studies of severe early neglect do show real impacts. Delays in language, in emotion, in forming bonds. That part is true. But the most important finding from that research is the one that usually gets left out. It's this: the earlier a child is moved into a warm, responsive environment, the more they recover. Often dramatically. The early brain is vulnerable precisely because it's still being built, but that same unfinished quality is exactly what gives it such a powerful capacity to heal. Difficulty in the first chapter is real. It is not a closed door. Again and again, with care and with time, children find their way forward. 3 years. A quarter of a brain to 80%. Language from silence to sentences. The ability to calm yourself, built one soothing at a time. All of it happening in a stretch of life that looks, from the outside, like not much at all. And here's the strangest part of the whole thing. You live through the single most formative period of your existence, and you can't remember a second of it. Which is exactly where we go next. Why we forget these years entirely, and what that forgetting actually means. This is the first chapter. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.